Hello, welcome to Knitting Nicely. Today we are going to learn how to knit in the front and back of a stitch to make 2 stitches out of 1. Here is some work that I have started. Is in this fun yarn with the little pink and green variegated colors. And as you can see, it's curling. That's totally natural. That will be solved once we block it. But what we're going to do today is we're going to learn how to make 2 stitches out of 1. Okay, so I'm going to begin knitting, and you'll be able to see. I'll do it several times so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so I'm just going to, I'm going to slip that first stitch to get a nice edge, and then we're going to knit, knit, knit. Do you see how I'm just pulling 1 loop out of each loop? So this is my old loop. I'm going to pull a new loop out of the old loop and then let the old loop drop off. Okay, now I'm going to show you what it looks like to do a knit in the front and back of a stitch, which creates 2 stitches out of 1 stitch. So here's my old stitch. I'm going to pull a new loop out, okay, but I'm not going to let that old stitch off yet. I'm going to move it to the back again. Then I'm going to put my right hand needle into the back of that same stitch, and I'm going to pull up a second loop. Okay, see, now I have 2 stitches coming out of 1 stitch. All right, let me do that again. Let me do a couple regular stitches. Now let's do this knit front and back again. Okay, now I've got this old stitch here. I'm gonna pull up a new yarn. Okay, that's my pink yarn, that's my new yarn, but I'm not gonna let this brown old one off yet. I'm gonna move my right hand needle to the back, push it through to the back side of my work, loop around that pink yarn again to make another new pink stitch come out of the same stitch. Now, as you notice, you can kind of see it here. When we do a knit front and back, we end up with a little purl looking bump on the front of our work. And that is something that you will end up with when you do a knit front and back to increase. Okay, that's a little design, a design thing that you have to be aware of when you're making a knit front and back, that you will have that little purl bump showing on the front of your work. Okay, so let's do it one more time so you can see it again. I'm going to do 2 regular stitches. That's 1 stitch, another regular stitch. Now I'm going to do a knit front and back again. So here's a regular knit. Let's try that again. There's a regular knit, pulling up that loop, but instead of letting this old loop off, I'm going to move my right hand needle to the back, slip it through the same old stitch to the back of it, loop around a new yarn from my working yarn, and pull another stitch out of the same old stitch. Okay, and that's all there is to it. Knitting front and back is a great way to quickly add a stitch if you are needing to in your pattern. I hope you have fun. I hope you learned how to do this easily. If you need to look at it again, go ahead and rewind, and you can see it again. And as you can see, I have knitted 3 front and back stitches. You can see that by the little purl bump there. That is the first knit front and back. There's the second knit front and back. And there's the third knit front and back. And that's how you do it. I hope you have fun knitting. See you next time.